రే మన తలకాయలు ఎవరున్నారా యాదవ సంత
Good morning, students. So my screen is visible. My voice is audible. So yesterday we discussed about Scrum. So and also we discussed in about Scrum. Here, why we are Scrum is a team framework. So work together. So Scrum is a framework that helps team work together. So that's why we are using Scrum. Okay, Scrum is a well balanced framework, and all its parts are needed in order to be effective. Okay, see the diagram here. When there is a project manager work in a functional team, they are working individually. When a call occurred, Scrum call, all are get collaborating about planning and review. Then they are restart their work. This is about Scrum. So Scrum framework. See here, we are product owner. Yesterday I discussed about product owner and Scrum master. Today we discussed about the team and other remaining problems we have discussed today. So already I discussed yesterday Scrum framework roles, product owner and Scrum master. Okay, so Scrum model, a project is divided into small work parts that are incrementally developed and delivered over the time box. Okay, so here incrementally developed and delivered over the time box, we are call it as a sprint. So each sprint is typically up to 1 to 4 weeks long or 2 to 4 weeks long. Okay. So here, see here, once again and repeat, only 16 students are joined only. So here, see here, product owner. The product owner represents the customer perspective and guide the team towards building the right software. Here, project owner guides the team towards building the right software. Okay, so see here in Scrum Master, he acts as the product manager for the project. The Scrum Master is product manager for the project, and also the responsibility of Scrum Master is to ensure that the team should be work collectively. So he has to take care about the team should be must work collectively. Okay. Okay, clear. So today we discussed about the team. So see here team. How many students are joined? Only 71 joined. Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, understand about product owner and Scrum Master. Uh, okay, see here in team. What I see here in the diagram, this is the team. Okay, so our product owner will take the data from the users, the stakeholders or customers or managers, some other people. and that stored in a product backlog in prioritized manner. Then, according to prioritize, the sprint planning meeting will conduct with the team members. Okay. So, what the work done by the team members? What is the work done by the team members? So here, typically 5 to 10 people in the team, and also team are cross-functional and self-organizing. Okay, so Scrum team determines which items and in what order to be executed. They are defined what items they determine what items and in what order to be executed. That was defined by the team member. Okay. So here we have membership should be changed only between the sprints. So here membership change only between the sprint, and also in this uh, team may have what are the team members have? Team may have developers, designers, software engineers, and other engineers needed to develop a particular system. So here team may have developers and also designers and software engineers and other engineers. So they develop a particular system. That their work is to develop a particular system. And also team deliver the product in iterative manner. Here team deliver the product in iterative manner. Okay, the Scrum team work together and closely for smooth working experience and avoid the communication gap mistakes. So here they work together, so and they work together and closely. Okay, for smooth working experience, and for this to avoid the mistakes, gap mistakes in communication. So and the team master has these these are the responsibilities of the team. uh, okay, so here team deliver the product in iterative manner. And the Scrum team usually consists of members who expertise in areas such as quality assurance and also programming, testing, user interface design, etc. So a team members who are expertise in areas quality assurance, programming, testing, and user interface design, and so on. Okay. So the team itself distributes the responsibilities among themselves. In contrast to the other teams, where the team leader divides who will do what. So here team leader divides who will do what. So this is about the team. Okay. Then we move to the ceremonies. Okay. In ceremonies, first one, sprint planning. So what is sprint planning? So see here in sprint planning, a sprint. See here, this is the, it will take 1 to 4 weeks time or 2 to 4 weeks time. A sprint begins with the team importing stories from the release backlog into the sprint backlog. This is the sprint backlog. It is hosted by the Scrum Master, and the tester estimates effort to test the various stories in the sprint backlog. So once you insert in the once you start the sprint, it will never stop. It will stop in between after completion. of 1 to 4 weeks. So here sprint backlog it is, and also the tester estimates effort to test the various stories in the sprint backlog. So estimate how much estimates for each data he was estimated. Okay, then in sprint backlog, sorry, in sprint planning, in sprint meeting, the product owners here in the sprint meeting, the product owner involves with the team to negotiate which product backlog item the team should work for the next sprint. So here sprint planning. So here in sprint planning, though there is a sprint meeting is there, the product owner involves with the team, to negotiate which product backlog item the team should be work for the next sprint. So that is about sprint planning. So then move to sprint review. This is sprint review. So here in a sprint review, it is also hosted by Scrum Master. This is also taken by the responsibility taken by the Scrum Master. Okay. It lasts about 2 to 4 hours and discuss what the team has accomplished in the last sprint. Okay. So about 2 to 4 hours and discuss after completion of 2 to 4 hours and discussion what the team has accomplished in the last sprint. After completing 2 to 4 hours, they discuss what the accomplished about last sprint and what lessons were learned. That is the about a sprint review. So okay, in a sprint review, meeting, at the end of each sprint, sprint review is conducted. Here, team members demonstrate new functionality developed during the sprint, and feedback is collected and taken into account. Okay, so taken into account. So here feedback is collected and taken into account, and that is to be implemented. So this is about sprint review. Okay, understand? Then we move to the sprint retrospective. So here sprint retrospective means how much work done and what are the features you added. We call it a sprint retrospective. Okay. Okay, understand? What work you have done till now and what are the features you added, we call it as a sprint retrospective. Okay. Then we move for daily scrum. So in daily scrum, it is also hosted by the Scrum Master. Okay, it lasts about 15 minutes. During daily scrum, the members will discuss the work completed the previous day. So about completion of 15 minutes in daily scrum, the members will discuss the work completed the previous day and the planned work for the next day and the issues faced during a sprint. So during daily stand-up meeting, team progress is tracked. So here daily is, there is a meeting with Scrum and they conduct a stand-up meeting and the team progress is tracked. So in a daily Scrum, there are short meetings conducted every day, working to review the status of the progress. Okay, so they are conducting short meetings to view the status of the progress and discuss the major issues being failed on day-to-day basis. So and also discuss the issues faced on day-to-day issues. So this is about daily Scrum meeting. So this is about ceremonies. Then we move for artifacts. So in artifacts, there are three categories: the product backlog, sprint backlog, burn down chart. So here, see here, product backlog. So I said this is product backlog. So it is a collection of user stories captured for a Scrum. So the product owner take the data from the user. So that we call the user stories. So it is a collection of user stories captured from a Scrum product. So what is user stories? So they are a short explanation of functionality of the system under test. So they are the functionality of the system under test. For example, there is an insurance provider. So he need the premium can be paid using the other systems, using the online systems. Okay. So this is product backlog. Then see here, in this there is a release backlog is there. So in release backlog, a release is a frame in which the number of iterations is completed. Okay. So here the product owner coordinates with the Scrum Master to decide which stories should be targeted for a release. And see here after release we have to sprint 1, sprint 2. So it is a set period time. It is a set period of time to complete the user stories. It is a period of time to complete the user stories decided by the product owner and the developer team. So usually it will take 1 to 4 weeks of time or 2 to 4 weeks of time. So then I already discussed sprint planning, daily scrum and sprint retrospective. Okay. Then we move to sprint backlog. 1 minute so here in this year, a product backlog. This document lists all the features that remain to be developed. Okay, he's here. It maintains a list that all features that remain to be developed. So in this document, the features are usually written in the form of stories. Here the feature are written in the form of stories. So during the course of development, new features may be added in the product backlog and some features may be even get deleted. So this is a dynamic document, that is periodically changes and update occur in product backlog. Okay, so in product backlog we are using here the requirements and also a list of all desired work on the project, and also identically expressed as a list of user stories along with story points. So such that the item has a value to users or customers of the product. And also in product backlog we have to prioritized by the product owner. And also we reprioritize at the start of each point. We also reprioritize at the start of each point. So then move to sprint backlog. So here individuals sign up for work of their own choosing. So work is never assigned. So estimated work is updated daily. So here estimated work remaining is updated daily. And also in sprint backlog, any team member can add, delete, change sprint backlog. Okay. And also work for the sprint emerges. And if a work is unclear, define a sprint blank item with a larger amount of time and break it down later. Okay. So you have to, if there is a work is unclear, then define a sprint backlog item with a larger amount of time and break it down later. And also update work remains as more becomes known. So it is a, and in sprint clock it is a set of user stories to be completed in a sprint, and it is owned and managed by the team while the estimated work remains is updated daily. And also it is the list of tasks that has to be performed in sprint. So this is about sprint backlog, and here sprint backlog team identifies one or more features from the product backlog and decides on what task would be undertaken for the development. So here a team identify one or more features from the product backlog and decides what task should be undertaken for the development. So that is about a sprint backlog. Then we move to the burn chart. So this is burn chart. So here burn down chart way. So a display of what work has been completed and what is left to be completed, that is shown in this chart. One for each developer or work team, updated every day. Chart is updated every day. Okay. In this chart, show overall progress and also update at end of each spirit. Okay. And in a breakdown chart represents overall progress of the work in progress and work completed throughout the progress. So it represents in a graph format the stories and features not completed. So in this sprint program, chart is used as a to visualize the progress made and the work remained. So how much progress we have to make and the work remained. Here the Scrum Master determines the work completed in the previous day and the list of work that remains to be completed and represents on the sprint breakdown chart. See here, horizontal axis of sprint represent the remaining work in hours, and the vertical chart shows the amount, shows the time or number of working days. So this is about sprint burn down chart. So these are about the Scrum. All discussed about Scrum framework, role, ceremonies, artifacts. So far, all of you clear about Scrum? Why we use Scrum? So see here the advantages of Scrum. So here. See here advantages. Large projects are broken down into small sprints. I already told you here large projects are broken into small sprints, and also in this customers are involved. So best result are in. So here we are always communicating with the customer. So best results are ensured and budget friendly and time saving. And also team gets clear visibility through Scrum meetings. So we are always conducting Scrum meetings. So clear team got clear visibility. And each sprint review we have developments are coded and tested during the sprint review. Then move to the disadvantages. So once the sprint backlog item backlog items cannot be changed. So see here, once you stored in the sprint backlog list, so it cannot be changed. So that is one of the disadvantage in Scrum, and also requires another disadvantage is requires strong commitment from all members of the team. So we need a commitment for all members of the team. So that is another disadvantage. So if any team member leaves in the middle of a project, so it have negative impact on the project. So that is another disadvantage is if the team member leaves in the middle of the project, it is a negative impact on the project. Then another disadvantage is quality is hard to implement until the team goes through testing process. So it is in this quality is hard to implement when the until the team goes through testing progress. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of Scrum. Then so then we move to next topic, choosing methodologies and technologies. So here project analysis should select the most appropriate methodologies and technologies for a project. So here project analysis should select the proper methodologies and technologies for a project. So methodologies include approaches like USDP, Unified Software Development Process, and also SSADM, it means Structured System Analysis and Design Method, and also HCD, Human Created Design, and so on. These are the methodologies approaches here. And also involved technology includes like application oriented and also automated testing environment. And these methods and technologies will affect, these are the methods and technologies will affect some of the methods and techniques will affect the following. First one, training requirements. So training requirements for the development staff and also staff here, type of staff to be recruited, and also development environment. So development environment, both hardware and software, and also system maintain arrangements. Then we have to identify the project. So we have to identify project as either object driven or product driven project. Determine the product from the start of the project. So which type of the project we have to determine, either object driven or product driven before start of the project. Then if the object driven object driven projects will define the general software solutions. So general software solutions. So general software solutions, that is determined. So in object driven projects, it will define the general software solutions that is to be implemented. Then move to the analyze other project statistics. So here it is data oriented or process oriented. So data oriented means information systems that have sustained database, that we call it as data oriented. And process oriented means it refers to control system or embedded system. And then move to the check whether it is general tool or application specific tool. So you have to check it is a general tool or application specific tool. So general tool would be spreadsheet or word processing package, and application And application specific could be seat reservation system, just like our seat reservation system. So then specific tools for implementing particular type of application. So in this, does it involve concurrent processing? We have to identify, and also will the system use heavy computer graphics, and also what is the nature of the software or hardware environment, and is the system created safe? So all these are implemented particular type of application we have to check. Then last one, identify high level project risk. So until we analyze the requirements clearly in detail, we cannot estimate the effort needed to build the system. So the greater the uncertainties at the beginning, greater the risk the project will be unsuccessful. So uncertainties are uncertainties are with the products and process or resources of a project. Okay, so these are about the methodologies and technologies will affect. So far clear. Any doubt, please write a message in. So then we have to move to yeah, part 1 in second unit. Last topic is software prototyping. Okay. So what is software prototyping? So it is the process of implementing the presumed software requirements with an intention. Okay, so software requirements with an intention to learn more about the actual requirements or alternative design that satisfy the actual set of requirements. So that is called as software prototyping. So why we need software prototyping? So to access the set of requirements, so that makes a product successful in the market. So if you accept the set of requirements, that makes the product successful in the market. And also we need the test the feasibility without building the whole system. Without building the whole system, we test the feasibility by using software prototyping. And also to make end user involved the design phase. To make the end user involved, we use software prototyping. So see here, software prototyping is the activity of creating prototypes of software applications. So that is incomplete version of the software program being developed. So that means that incomplete version of software being developed. So this prototype model is one of the most popular used SDLC model. So this is one of the most popularly used SDLC, means software development lifecycle model. So when we use this model, means this model is used when the customer do not knows the exact requirements beforehand. Whenever the user does not know the exact requirements, we are using this software prototyping. So this process starts the interviewing the customer and a high level documentation is made. See here, we are interviewing the customer and the documentation is made, and this document has the basic functionality explained by the customer. So these include the basic functionality explained by the customer. So when the customer figure out the problem, the prototype is further refined to estimate them. Sorry. So here the product, here the prototype is further refined to eliminate them. Okay, so this process continues till the customer approves and find it to be satisfactory. So the process go on when the customer approves and it to be satisfactory. So here these prototypes are classified into two types: throwaway prototyping and evolutionary prototyping. Okay, see here throwaway prototyping and evolutionary prototyping. So throwaway prototyping. One minute, throwaway prototyping and also evolutionary prototyping. So see here in throwaway prototyping, executable prototype plus system specifications. In evolutionary prototyping, delivered system. Okay. So throwaway prototyping. Here objectives are derive each system requirements. Throwaway derive each system requirements, and this throwaway prototype is one type of approach where an initial prototype is built mainly focused on the poorly understood requirements. It mainly focuses on poorly understood requirements. So once the requirements are understood, requirements documents is updated, and a conventional development process is followed to build the system. So, here in this throwaway prototype, this is a method of exploring ideas and getting customer feedback. So in this method, the initially developed prototype need not necessarily be ultimate accepted prototype. So with the help of customer feedback, the faults and the unnecessary design will be thrown away and final prototype is developed with the better quality. Okay. So then move to the another is evolutionary prototype. Here delivery a work system plus delivery a work system plus prototype requirement. So evolutionary prototyping is one in which each system is built using the well understood requirements. So well understood requirements. Okay. So in this method, the prototype is developed incrementally on the basis of customer feedback. So here the standards that are used to develop the software is carefully considered. Okay, here we have to carefully consider the standards, and also this is a better approach which saves time and effort. So it is the best effort to save time and effort, and also overlapping a new prototype always from the scratch is very functional for developers. So here overlapping a new prototype is always from a scratch is very functionally for developers. So evolutionary prototype is the better prototype as compared to throwaway prototyping. So what are the advantages here? So learning by doing. So one of the advantages here, learning by doing. So we can see that what mistakes are done, and also here improved communication, and also here improved user involvement, and user can be more actively involved. So this is one of the advantage, and also in this missing functionalities can be easily figured out, and flexibility is flexibility in design, and in this new requirements can be easily accommodated. So here new requirements can be easily accommodated. And the last advantage is a customer gets the particular product early in the life cycle. He gets the product early in the life cycle, so which gives the greater level of customer satisfaction. It gives the greater level of customer satisfaction. So then move to the disadvantages. So yeah, one disadvantage is cost with respect to time as well as money. So your cost is with respect to time as well as money, and also poor documentation. So here poor documentation on this, it is sometimes very difficult for developers to accommodate all changes demanded by the customer. So it is difficult for the developers to accommodate all changes demanded by the customers. So it is difficult by the all changes done by the customers. Okay. Then so after seeing the early prototype, the customers sometimes require, sometimes demand the actual product to be delivered soon. Okay, that is one of the another disadvantage. So when after seeing the early prototype, the customer sometimes demand the actual product to be delivered soon. Okay, so here developers in a luxury hack it out and see what happens. So here developers hack it out and see what happens, and also in developers in a hurry will build a prototype with suboptimal solutions. So developers in a hurry will build a prototype with some optional solutions, and the customer might lose interest in product if he or she is not satisfied with the initial prototype. So if he is not satisfied with the initial prototype, so the customer will lose interest in product. So these are the disadvantages in prototyping, software prototyping. So the first part of the second unit completed. Tomorrow we will discuss about iterative and incremental framework methods. These are three types are there. We will discuss it tomorrow. So this is about the second unit, first part, that is project approach. So different life cycle models. So we learned already different types of life cycle models: waterfall model, spiral model, iterative incremental model, dynamic system development model, agile model. Okay. And also we learned advantages and disadvantages of each model, and why we need this model. All these we learned in previous classes, and we also learned about software prototyping and choosing methodologies. So today the part 2 of second unit completed. So anybody has any queries, please write a message in chat box. Any doubt, please write a message in chat box. Okay. So tomorrow 1 minute. See here. So tomorrow we will discussion about part 2 in second unit, that is iterative and incremental process framework. So in this there are 3 phases, there life cycle phases, process artifacts, and also process workflows. So these 3 and discussion after after the completion of these 3, the second unit will completed. Okay, and tomorrow we'll discuss the different life cycle phases, engineering and production phase, inception phase. Tomorrow we will discuss these 5 topics. Okay, then we move to the process artifacts. Okay, so far clear or any doubt? Please write a message in chat box. Or any doubt? Any queries? No queries?